Hey guys, Aniso here, and today we talk about Arc Warden as a support and also as an offlaner. Arc Warden is usually played as a mid hero and sometimes as a hard carry, but I feel like with the recent changes, this hero is really solid as a support and also as an offlaner. I have experimented with this for the last few weeks and I had great success. So first of all, let's check out why I think Arc Warden is viable and also pretty good as an offlaner and as a support. Arc Warden offers a lot of utility with his magnetic field. Magnetic field will give 100% bonus evasion to every allied hero that's standing in the field and gets attacked from outside the field. Also, it increases the attack speed by 80. With the level 15 talent, we increase the attack speed bonus up to 120 for every allied hero. With the Aghanim shard, every allied hero standing in the field will receive 40% bonus magic resistance. It will also slow every enemy by 30%, and it will knock back every enemy hero that's currently standing in the field while you're placing it. With the shard and the talent, Magnetic Field is such a huge utility spell. Our ultimate Tempest Double basically creates a 6th hero for our team that has the same items and the same spells as our hero. This translates into us having huge power spikes early on with just a few items if you buy the right items. For example, Urn, Spirit Vessel, Rod of Athos, Gleipnir, Lotus Orb, Forstaffs, Glimmer Capes, and so on. Also, our hero deals an insane amount of burst damage with all the spells that we can use at the same time combined with our ultimate. This translates into us having huge power spikes early on. Also, Arc Warden is incredible at sieging enemy towers and defending your own towers with your spells such as Magnetic Field and Spark Wraith. I like to start off with Spark Wraith level 1 so I'm able to secure the range creeps and also the bounty runes in the river. Then we alternate between getting Flux and Spark Wraith, usually maxing out Spark Wraith first. At level 6 we obviously take our ultimate, and then usually I like to take one value point in the magnetic field at around level 8 or 9. Then we max out Spark Wraith or Flax depending on which one we already maxed out, and then we take the talent at level 11. At level 12 we obviously take our second point in the ultimate, and then we max out magnetic field. For the talents I always take Flux cast range at level 10, Magnetic Field attack speed at level 15, Spark Wraith damage at level 20, and then Tempest double duration at 25. The level 15 attack speed talent and the level 20 Spark Wraith damage are huge power spikes for a hero. Especially the level 20 talent combined with an Aghanim Scepter. The starting items that I usually buy are Tangos, Healing Salve, Ironwood Branch, Sage Mask, and a Quelling Blade as a core, and as a support, instead of the Quelling Blade, I usually get some more Regen or some Clarities or Sentries. For the early game items, we will use the Sage's Mask that we start off with. We either build an Urn of Shadows as a support, or a Falcon Blade as a core. Both of those items will solve our mana problems. Then we build Magic Wand, and then some form of boots. You can either stay at brown boots, or you can upgrade to brown boots to power treads or arcane boots. Also, it is really important that we will not build a Hand of Midas. Keep in mind that we are an offlaner or a support, not a hard carry or mid. Hand of Midas will only delay all of your item timings. Depending on the situation of the game, you either need to build utility items or offensive items. For the utility items, we have Aghanim's Shard upgrading our magnetic field. We have Heaven's Halberd if we need to disarm some crucial targets, such as Marcy for example. Then we have the usual support items such as Forstaffs and Glimmer Capes. And also Lotus Orb being really valuable, especially with casting it twice. For the offensive items, we can upgrade our Urn into a Spirit Vessel. We can choose to buy drums to have infinite charges. We could also get some more range with the Ether Lance. Build a Rod of Athos if we need more disable. It can also be upgraded into Gleipnir later on. And an Aghanim Scepter combined with the level 20 talent to allow us to dish out huge amounts of damage. For the late game we can buy Size of Vice if we need to lock down crucial targets, Arya and Yasha if we just want more damage, Octarine Core if we want to spell spells, Platform if we need a crucial silence, and then Silver Edge we need to disable some passives. For the hotkeys I use a mix between normal cast and quick cast. For the normal cast I bound W to magnetic field, just so I can see the AoE range while placing the field. For the quick cast I bound Spark Wave and Flux onto E and R and my ultimate on Q. This way it is really easy to spam Flux and Spark Wave at the same time while also tap targeting through the units. Usually your ultimate is on R. It makes it very hard to cycle between the units while also spamming your spells, so I would definitely recommend rebinding the hotkey for Arc Warden. To control multiple units you definitely need to bind select hero and select all controlled units. For me they are on 1 and 2. And once you click on advanced hotkeys you can also find select all other units. This will only select your illusion. This free hotkeys will make it very easy to control Arc Warden and his ultimate. One important thing to notice is that if you buy charge based items such as drums and vessel, if you use them on the clone, your normal hero will not lose a charge. Now we had 7 charges. If I cast my ultimate again, the drums will have the same amount of charges as my hero again. So you can use all the items such as drums and vessel an infinite amount of time. Now for the magnetic field placement. It is very important to realize that if you place the field in such a way that the enemy is in the field, he can still hit our hero. If he's attacking from outside the range, he will not be able to hit Sven again. Usually the optimal way of casting your bubbles is one right here and then one on the other side, so he barely stands in the middle. This way it is nearly impossible to hit him because you have to stay in both bubbles at the same time. Arc Warden is great at taking Roshan together with your team. Your magnetic field attack speed buff will melt Roshan so fast. Also you can secure the whole area around Roshan with a lot of spark waves if needed. This will make it very hard for enemies to contest you while roshing. Spark Wave is probably one of the best spells in the game to siege enemy towers. If you want to prepare for a tower push, cast your ultimate and then spam your Spark Waves all around the towers. Keep in mind, they give vision even in the fog, so you can scout for TPs or enemies hiding in the woods. Arc Warden is perfectly suited to pick off squishy supports. Usually, they can't do anything to you. If you cast double Flux and then spam Spark Wave and your Spirit Vessel or Urn onto them, they're usually dead all the time. Try to look for solo pickoffs, especially in teamfights on isolated targets. Positioning is really important on Arc Warden. You want to try to stand in the back line. Let your allies run in first and soak some spells, and then you can snipe enemy heroes with Flux and Spark Wave and save your heroes with the magnetic fields. This way you will deal maximum amount of damage without dying. When sieging the enemy high ground, it is very important that you spread your Spark Waves. Usually you don't want to stack them in one place, but rather spread around in a large area so enemies have harder time contesting you. You also want to spam your magnetic fields onto your allies, so the enemies can't stop you from sieging the high ground. Don't overcommit and always try to stay in the backline with your main hero. If you want, you can go a little bit closer with your illusion, but I wouldn't recommend to run in with your real hero. A lot of the time, especially in the early game, people will really underestimate your damage because they're not used to playing against an Arc Warden in the side lane. If you get low and people chase you and they get isolated away from creeps, you can use Flux and Spark Wave to quickly turn around. Items such as Gleipnir and Rod of Athos will give huge potential to set up all your spells. Combining those items with your Tempest double will basically make the whole enemy team being unable to move for 4 seconds, which is basically another Ravage for your team. When trying to learn Arc Warden, don't get disappointed by your first few games. If you're completely new to playing Arc Warden, you'll probably have a hard time the first few games. This hero takes some practice, but I promise you, once you've played 15 or 20 games on this hero, it's not that hard anymore. You just need some practice, especially if you've never played any micro heroes before. Give yourself the chance to learn some new micro skills. I promise you, it is worth it and it is a lot of fun. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Have a nice day. See you guys.